Hi, my name is Bam. Welcome back to my channel. I haven't sat in front and filmed in like 2.5 months maybe. As we can tell by the title, this is a kind of like new-ish type of video. I took the idea from Katie is Reading because I saw that she started doing these kinds of videos and I wanted to try it. So this is my October reset because we are coming on the end of September now and a lot of things in my life have changed. So yeah, and I'm hoping that these can be slightly more regular videos that, like, even if I don't get any other content in the middle of the month, you still get something out of me. This video specifically is going to be a bit longer than I'm expecting these videos to be in the long run, just because I do have 2.5 months to catch you up on, but I am going to like chapter it to make sure that you guys can like skip to the bits that you want. So if you don't care about like life update things, you can like skip over those stuff, and I will have bookish related stuff kind of in the middle simmering with everything else. So that's that. So this is my October reset, and I'm gonna start off with life updates because those are really necessary things, and I do have notes. I don't think you can see them, but they are on my iPad here. I have multiple screens everywhere. My ADHD is losing its mind. Anyway, so first and foremost, the most obvious one, I am in a different location. Obviously I talked about this, I think I talked about this, I should have, over like the last couple of sort of videos, that I was obviously moving out of my university city and I am in my hometown again. My original plan at the start of the academic year, like last academic year, was that I was going to live with my grandma, but then I was kind of considering loads of stuff and I'm living with my parents again. This room itself, if we can't tell by the slightly different bookshelf, is my little sister's room. She has moved off to uni, which is so I'm living in her space while she is away, and I have posted a couple of shorts just kind of in this location, sort of organising my stuff, and most of my books are on a bookshelf in the hallway now, so I won't be filming in front of that one because it's in the hallway, but they're there, and occasionally I'll probably just like show off little things. I also have a cat right next to me. I'm not going to grab him because he's sleeping and he'll chirp at me if I try, but he'll probably make a couple of features in content because he's always in here. He really likes this room and messing up my nice clean sheets. So yeah, home, cat content, inbound event, like inevitably, and yeah, in a new place. I'm not likely to film as much like life content as I did when I was at university, not only just because I'm in my family house with multiple family members who have not like consented to being online at all, but just because like I am living in my hometown currently, and aside from the odd thing in like shorts, most likely is what I'm gonna sort of experiment with. I'm not going to put too much of that out there because a lot of my immediate family does live in this town, and I don't really want to put that on the internet. So yeah, live content gonna take a back seat, which I'm sure a lot of you who subscribed for my bookish content are happy about. Most of that will be relegated to just like shorts and things like that. So that's kind of that, and a couple of mini things, mini life updates. I have a new job. I had a job when I was back in my uni city, but I did have to leave that because I moved and the commuting time just wouldn't have been worth it. But now I do have a full-time job that I'm starting this week. I'm starting training this week. I'm obviously not going to go into like too many details about it, but I'm still a receptionist and it is a full-time job, so content is gonna be affected by that, but it also might be a good thing because it's a lot more sort of set routine that mentally I'm gonna be better at dealing with, and doing this is kind of like necessary because of like stuff with uni, which I'm not gonna go into too many details about, but obviously most people who have been watching my content for a while know that I got COVID before the start of my third year, and that like really affected me going into my third year. And with a combination of like physical, mental health, and absolutely shockingly abysmal communication from my university, I don't have a degree. Because I've completed 2 years, I have a diploma of higher education, and currently I'm okay with that. I am by all technicalities taking a gap year, and sort of summer, come like early next year, if I feel like I want to complete my degree, I will be doing that through like the Open University or something simple like that, and like transferring my credits over. But yeah, otherwise I don't have a degree, and I'm like, I'm kind of okay with that. I'm less sort of upset about that than I am with how shockingly bad my university was at sort of communicating and supporting me. But I'm not going to kind of go into too many details about that because nobody needs to know that much about me. And then on a slightly funner note that's not like work related, I'm gonna get my hair done again. It's been literally almost a year since I first got my hair dyed red, for anybody who's been around that long and remembers like that drastic change. But I'm going back to sort of that style of haircut with sort of like the bob and the curtain bangs because I quite liked it. I went back to watch the vlog that I posted around the time of doing that because I just kind of wanted to like have a look at what it was from like an outside perspective, and I really liked it. But I'm not going red this time. I'm gonna go dark blue, and I'm really excited. I have a consultation tomorrow with a new salon, so I have to meet new stylists and hope that they do what I want properly. But because of my work schedule, I probably won't you probably won't see my blue hair until the next video I post, but I will probably post about it on Instagram, at least on my stories, so you can go and follow me over there. And yeah, that's what I'm really excited about. I'm really excited to get my hair done because it's reached that length. I feel like anybody who has like sensory issues will probably get me, but it's kind of reached that length where like more often than not I'm tying it back because I need it away from me. I don't generally like having super long hair. Literally ever since I was like 13 and first got my haircut, I have loved having a sort of short bob. So I'm so looking forward to it. I'm really, really excited. And yeah. So yeah, this week it's starting getting my new hair and starting my new job. I'm doing training all of this week. I have 5 days of 8-hour shifts and I'm like mentally preparing for it, and it's like I'm anxious but I'm also excited, and I'm like I'm like manifesting that I'm gonna like the job and I'm gonna want to stick with it for a while because I need to. But that means that hopefully I can save up enough that I can get more equipment. I would like maybe to get a camera at some point or anything else. But yeah, that is the plan. And now, probably the thing that most of you care about, the reading stuff. So I haven't actually got the book down that I want, but currently, I don't know if I mentioned starting this, but I am currently reading The Fiction Between Us by Julia Olivia, the same person who wrote All Downhill With You, which was like the yellow book that I posted my review of on Instagram a little bit ago. But I'm 168 pages in and like roughly halfway through, if we can see that. And I won't lie, I've not picked it up because I started this before I moved out of my uni flat, and I haven't picked it up since because I just haven't been in a place to. So I'm hoping to finish this at some point, like preferably before the end of September, so that I can kind of start fresh with like my October stuff. But yeah, we've got that, and then a book that is on my shelf that I don't want to get down right now is I'm doing a reread of one of my favourite middle grade series, starting with Pegasus and the Flame, and I'm going through and I'm annotating it because it is one of my favourite series, and I just kind of really want to scribble in them and like have a good time with them. So there's those two. Those are my two physical books. Because of the way that like this room is and the amount of storage and space that I've got, I'm aiming to only have 2 physical books on the go at once and just sort of trade them out on the bookshelf when I've like finished them. So I will only ever be reading 2 physical books at once. But as we saw in the intro, I did get a Kindle. This is like what I've done to the back, but I have like been mulling over getting one of these for a while, and it kind of came to a head because one of my Discord friends got one, and he had kind of been like talking about it with us about whether he should get one or not, and then did eventually cave. And also my younger sister has one, hence why a good chunk of her books is still here, because she took her Kindle with her to uni. And it turned out to be a good idea because I have no space left on the shelves outside of this room, and I still sent 2 full boxes of books to go into storage because they couldn't stay in this house. So I am very much like tight on the space, and like this was like a good investment as well, because it means I can read all sorts of kind of different books, I think. Currently, I did start this earlier. I'm reading Cities of Smoke and Starlight by Ali Ernest. I can't really begin to super tell you what it's like. I'm only 1 chapter in, but it's kind of like, it's like not steampunk, but it's like Victorian sci-fi. Not got a full like sense of the vibes yet, but there's like electricity, but it's considered new technology, so some people still use like fires, but there's hover bikes and spacecraft, and there's ruins of the first Earth like dotted around them. So it's kind of like in the future, but technology has kind of like shifted around. And I think from what I've gathered from a little bit of like internal dialogue from like the main male character in the first chapter, I think it was like some astronauts like crashed on like the planet that they're on and they kind of had to start from scratch with a lot while also still having a lot of like scientific technology. Again, I'm only one chapter in, so I have no idea what's going on. This is just like, this book I think was on my wish list for some reason. I don't remember why I put it there, but then I found that it was on Kindle Unlimited, which I got like for 3 months free when I bought my Kindle. So I decided I would finally read it. And I guess if any of you have any recommendations for books that are on Kindle Unlimited that you think I'd like, do let me know. I would love to make use of it while I've got it for free. But yeah, I'm kind of really interested because it's like posed as like Rogue One-esque, but there is a second book, so I don't think most of them are gonna die. So I'm really interested to see where it goes and like how the world is gonna be like introduced and shaped. And like the cover art is quite cool. I don't know if you can see it. The cover art is pretty cool. And that, yeah. I have also been using it to read fanfiction because it's just nice, to be honest. I saw someone describe the Kindle screen as like digital but not, and I didn't get it until I started reading on it, and I was like, yeah, it is digital but not. And then I guess a general review is like, it's pretty good. Like I have to give them Amazon credit where credit is due, I suppose. They made a really good e-reader. And I think the only problem that I've ever sort of encountered is that sometimes it does lag with like the touch screen stuff. Like sometimes I'll touch something and it just won't register, or like it'll literally take forever. So I'll click it again and then it like does the sort of input twice. I think that's the only thing I've encountered, and I haven't run into that problem so much that it's like really annoyed me. But this is I literally got this like a couple days ago, so it's still up in the air of my general opinion, but I quite like it. And I like that you can kind of sort things into separate collections, so I can kind of keep different like things set. So yeah, that is kind of that. And then other things, this is more like reading content related. So obviously because my live content is kind of shoving off to the side because I don't want to indulge too much of my life while I'm around all of my family, more bookish content. The plan with these reset videos is to kind of implement maybe like a loose TBR. For anybody who's watched me for a while knows that I don't really do TBR videos because I'm a mood reader. Like I am a severe mood reader. It takes me a lot to actually start a book, and I really have to be in the mood when I am starting a book. But which is why I don't do like dedicated TBR videos, and why I probably never will, because they would just but I do want these videos to maybe include certain books that I want to be reading in the upcoming month. So like for October, obviously I'm most likely going to be reading this unless I finish it in a week, in which case I will be reading the sequel most likely. But I do have other books on here that I'm thinking of reading, especially for like October. So I've got The Coven by Harper L. Woods, which feels kind of Halloween-y, or at least like spooky enough that I can probably read it during October. But I'm also not really a spooky reads kind of person, so a lot of what I've got in here is fantasy. Like I have Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling, which I've seen Katie is read, or at least start reading, so I'm kind of curious to read that. I have Counterpart by Ella Pine, I think that's how you pronounce her last name, that I saw Reads with Rachel recommend. And then one book that I picked up because I thought the cover was cool when I was scrolling through the Unlimited library is A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stacia Stark. Is that, the 3 dots are like hiding? Yeah, Stacia Stark. So those are the books that I have like on my like library that I've taken out with like Kindle Unlimited that I will I would hope to read. Obviously while finishing like my physical reads, and then my next planned physical read is Only a Monster by an author whose name I can't remember because it's out there. But that's kind of rough plans that like I might not follow, but I might. And kind of the same sort of in the same vein, I'm most likely going to include wrap-ups in these videos, not only if they're small. And I think I've kind of set myself like a limit of like, if I only read 1 to 3 books in a month, I will include the wrap-up in these reset videos. But if it's more than that, then I will do a dedicated wrap-up video, which I've only ever done one of, that I did in January. So I have not touched them since. But then on to kind of the last sort of thing that I want to talk about, my reading journal. Like I said, with kind of mingling wrap-ups into these videos, that will include showing off the spreads that I make for them in my reading journal. And I've gone through a bit of a thing with my reading journal recently where I felt a little bit burnt out of this one. And I put a poll up on my Instagram the other day asking for a bit of like a general opinion, and it was pretty one-sided for a while, but then more people saw it, and I am gonna stick out this journal until the end of the year. I don't see myself like finishing the whole thing because I just have so much of it left, but I just don't think that I can do a 3rd year in this journal. I will most likely save a lot of the tail end pages to maybe use as inserts into whatever journal I use next and other journals that I have. But I think I need to jump out of the craft paper journal and try something new. I do already have the next journal that I want to use picked out. So that will be exciting to use for 2024. But yeah, because we are right at the end of the year, I think it is a good idea just to use this until the end of the year. So I'm gonna sort of put up now a little flip through of spreads that I have made. I have done like very loose title pages, and then I have done like the base of spreads for The Deal and All Downhill With You, which I read in June and July, but I've not actually written anything in them because I haven't wanted to. I kind of lost energy for doing my reading journal for a while, which is why I'm kind of like resetting with October, and I'm kind of going with a black and silver with a little bit of white theme for it, with like general kind of celestial vibes. I did do my usual like days read sort of spread, but kind of this time I took out tracking how many pages I read. I've seen a couple of other sort of like monthly spreads that other people have done in their reading journals that I think I'm going to try out in sort of the coming months, to see what works and see what I maybe want to kind of commit to in my 2024 journal. But for the first time I have added a TBR and quotes section in my monthly spreads, which is not something I've done before. I do quite like how the page turned out. It's uniform in such a way that tickles my brain. But the TBR box will probably end up being kind of small because I'm not likely to actually read that much considering I have a full-time job now. But that's where the Kindle comes in, because I'm going to take the Kindle to work with me. But the quotes, because of the way that like the Kindle works in terms of like annotations and stuff, you can't really differentiate between what annotations you make like you can with like Apple Books or doing it physically. So you can't do like different colors and you can't really tab it, which is probably my only like general sort of like not quite for me sort of vibe. So any quotes that I actively really like, I want to be able to kind of keep track of in my journal. And then again, the TBR section is mostly just for like, if I reach the end of like books that I have read and I'm kind of at a loss for what I want to read next, I can kind of refer back to these sections and sort of take them on. I'm still going to be doing my like arty spreads for certain books, and sort of seeing how that goes. And I have a lot more kind of like things that I can use and want to do, and aesthetics I want to try and everything like that. For my October spread specifically, I used the Notebook Therapy Witchy Spells washi tape set, which is really cute. It's a really nice set. It's got some really good colours in it. And yeah, so with my reading journal, I'm not going to be filming my setups anymore because it kind of made the whole process feel more like a chore than I wanted it to be. Like, my reading journal is supposed to be fun for me, and actively trying to set up having to like film making it was making me overthink what I was doing. And I think it's just nicer for me if I can kind of do the setting up of them on my own terms for a while, and just show kind of the flip throughs of the spreads themselves, which I will still share my spreads with you in these videos and wrap up videos and wrap up sections and stuff. But I just won't film the setup because I just don't want to. I just don't think it's like productive for me, and it doesn't help me want to do my reading journal anymore. So I'm kind of very much making the actual process of making my spreads personal to me, and then you guys get to see the outcome of them when I'm done. So that's that plan. And yeah, I think generally speaking that's all I wanted to give you today. The actual process of these videos will probably become a lot more organized as I get used to them and do them. This is very much like a mostly life update sort of reset with a little bit of showcasing of things that I'm doing, and I hope that this kind of video will sort of resonate with you, or like you'll enjoy it. I'll definitely sort of in future most likely add a lot more b-roll than I have added in this one, but this was very much just like, this is the first video I filmed in my house and I'm gonna have to get used to everybody in my house hearing me film, which is a whole thing. I'm just like pretending that they're not here. But yeah, so live content most likely sticking to shorts if I film much of any. Bookish content will hopefully take off. There's a lot of reading vlogs I want to do. There's a lot of just like reviews I'm hoping that I can maybe sort of do more of, and just sort of lean into it, especially with these reset videos, to kind of do more TBR wrap-up style things, that hopefully will kind of work with my audience. I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. I think I've covered everything in like my notes, and like I said, these videos will kind of lean more into the general like aesthetic kind of b-roll included stuff that I normally do with my reading vlogs, and those will come back. I promise. I have a lot of books that I want to read. I'm planning to do a reading vlog series for the Lunar Chronicles. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do it one book per, or if I'm going to combine a couple, or just do the whole series. We will see, but that will probably take me a little while to get through. So, and I also have Caraval that I'm planning on reading. I just don't know when. I've not been in the mood to read that one, so it's whatever. This has been a little bit of a mess, but I haven't filmed in 2.5 months, so cut me some slack. I'm gonna annoy my cat so you can see him now. Come here. Oh, you're so... I know, I'm sorry. This is Socks. He's a chunky boy and he's so upset with me that I've just picked him up. But this is Socks. I'm sorry. You okay? Yeah. I'll put you down now. Go, go, go. Our resident chunky man. So thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you want, subscribe if you feel like keeping up with me in hopefully my more routine era. We'll see what this job does to me. And I will see you all in my next video, whatever that may be. So